Now I'm going to turn it over to Kenn Turner from the Massachusetts Life Science Center, who's going to moderate a conversation with some of our best ambassadors for the program, our alumni, students, and supervisors. Kenn is president and CEO of the Massachusetts Life Science Center. He directs and oversees the center's operations, investment strategy, programs, and partnerships. He's previously held leadership positions with Massport, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Veterans Services, AOL Time Warner, Hallmark Cards, and Hasbro Toys. Kenn has been an incredible partner, as has everyone at the Life Science Center, Ryan and Cheryl and Jennifer, to support the program right from its earliest inception. And we are so excited to let him seed this conversation and share our success with you. Welcome, Kenn.
Morning, Sarah. Thank you for that generous and kind introduction, and good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you, and happy Friday. There's no better way to start the morning than to be talking about opportunities that we have in the life sciences here in our great Commonwealth. But first, I want to thank Sarah and the team for organizing such a terrific event. Second, I'm grateful to be sharing the stage this morning with my co-board chair, Secretary Kenneally, and my esteemed board member, President Marty Meehan. I can tell you personally that the Commonwealth is in terrific hands with these two gentlemen at the leadership positions that they hold, and that the center is well positioned for new levels of excellence, knowing that I have the two of them in my corner and supporting the center. And I thank you personally for all of your guidance and support. As Sarah mentioned, I have the privilege of serving as the president and the CEO of the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center. We are an economic development and investment authority with the mission of supporting the growth and the development of the life sciences here in the Commonwealth. Put another way, me and my team are part of an organization that serves as the hub of the Massachusetts life sciences ecosystem. As already been noted, we are a proud partner of Project Onramp. It's one of the initiatives I'm most excited to be involved with during my tenure here at the center. I'm still fairly new, but for me, the collaborative spirit of this sector is one of the things that continues to stand out as an obvious strength. And Project Onramp is, of course, an exemplary example of the output of that spirit. With industry support partners like Life Science Cares, Mass Bio, Mass Bio Ed, Mass Biomedical initiatives, alongside student partners and Thrive Scholars, and the bottom line, we are well positioned to continue to accomplish great things. One of the charges of the Life Science Center is to continuing to meet the moment for our future life science workforce. To accomplish this, our strategy at its core is embracing the ideals of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also leveraging the absolute best of what our Commonwealth is and can be by continuing to invest in the power of experiential learning opportunities for those who have far too often been underrepresented in this sector. It's why I'm proud to announce our continued support of Project Onramp with a $25,000 funding in grants, so that we can continue to match our top talent in Massachusetts with paid internships at life science companies here throughout the state. And I'm excited to be joined by an industry leader in Virginia Berger and a future leader in Tsungai Jackson. I have the pleasure of helping to lead a conversation with both of them this morning, but let me tell you all a little bit more about them before we get started. Tsungai Jackson is a Project Onramp alum, and just last month graduated from UMass Amherst with a degree in biochemistry and molecular biology. Tsungai spent the summer of 2019 as a discovery chemistry intern at Toledo Biosciences. And in exciting recent news, Tsungai was just chosen as a Visor Breakthrough Fellow. Congratulations, Tsungai. The Breakthrough Fellowship Program is a first of its kind initiative from Visor to advance students and early career colleagues of Black and African American descent, Hispanic descent, and Native American descent with the goal of developing 100 fellows by 2025. Virginia Berger is co-founder and CEO of New Equilibrium Biosciences, a pioneering life science company created to discover and develop new medicines for life-threatening cancers and neurological diseases. She is a firm believer in creating opportunities for young people in the life sciences industry and has served as a Project Onramp host and supervisor. And I might add, we here at the center are proud to have Virginia as a previous awardee of our Mass Next Gen program, which supports women-led life science companies. Good morning, Virginia. So let's jump right into the conversation. So question one, I'm going to put this to you, Tsungai, and it's a hard one, so you better buckle up. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Project Onramp, Sarah, and Leela for inviting me here today. I'm really great to be here, and I hope that some of my experience can help out the new interns in achieving your goals this summer. So my name is Tsungai Jackson. I was actually born and raised in Zimbabwe, and about 11 years ago, I came to the US, and I've been living here ever since. So I just graduated from UMass Amherst, like Kenn said, and I majored in biochemistry and molecular biology with a minor in psychology. And while I was at UMass, I was a research assistant in a biology lab, and I was a resident assistant as well as participated in a STEM ambassadors program and the Black Student Union. I have also been a part of Bottom Line since high school, and I also participated in Project Onramp in the first year, summer of 2019. So throughout college, I actually went to Boston Line Academy, which has amazing opportunities in interning. So that's when I started my internships. And I first started working at the Boston Public Health Commission through their BAHEC program. And through there, I was able to transition to the Dana-Farber and Harvard Cancer Center CURE program. And that summer is when I first actually started research, and I learned a lot about life science companies and biotech because we had the opportunity to have a fellowship at the Biogen Community Lab. And then from that summer, the summer after my senior year of high school, I interned at Sanofi Genzyme, and I got to actually interact and learn a lot more about what life science and pharmaceutical companies are like, and get to be in that field and actually see what phase 3 drug trials go through. So that was very, very interesting and quite eye-opening. After that, I went to UMass, and while I was at UMass, the summer after my first year of UMass, despite being in a biology lab, in a biology like internship sort of situation, I was not able to secure a summer internship because it's quite difficult, especially in the first year when you have so many people that you're competing with, and not having access to a strong network made it really difficult. So I was super grateful when in the summer of 2019, I was given the opportunity to participate in Project Onramp. And I discovered this opportunity through Bottom Line, which I've been a part of since high school. And Project Onramp was great for me because it allowed me to be flexible and still continue to focus more on my studies while I'm just able to kind of work on my resume, to give them my resume, and they're able to, provide my resume to these amazing companies, and they're able to either pick me for an interview process and to go through that. And I was super grateful that that summer I actually was offered 6 offers, and I ended up picking Kaleido Biosciences. And that interview process was quite extensive. I remember it was my first time having a 4-hour interview and interviewing with about 5 different people for 30-minute segments. And it taught me a lot of things, but I got to know the team that I was going to be working with. And I was super grateful for that because it allowed me to have a better mindset about who I was going to be working with, and make the best decision for myself in terms of what internship would help me. At Kaleido, and Kaleido Biosciences is a life science company that is focused on like a chemistry-driven approach in creating microbiome metabolic therapies to treat diseases and help improve health. And I had never worked in a chemistry-driven lab before, so that's why I ended up picking Kaleido Biosciences, and it worked out really great. It taught me that I didn't want to be the organic chemistry lab, but I was able to learn a lot about, organic chemistry techniques and synthesizing very unique glycans. And that was quite challenging for me, which is what I'm always looking for. I'm always looking for something new and quite challenging. So I was very, very happy to be a part of that. And then summer of 2020, due to COVID, I was not able to get an internship, but I was secured to work with Beam Therapeutics. But obviously due to COVID, I was not able to do that. But regardless, I'm super, super grateful to be able to start with Pfizer soon. And I'm currently just working at the Broad Institute doing your COVID tests for the summer. So that's who I am.
Thank you for that. What a terrific start to the conversation. And you answered the question that I was going to ask you next, which is what did you learn at Toledo? And a very important lesson, I think, in anybody's career is learning what you don't want to do as well as what you want to do. So good for you for having that experience. And so the next question goes to Virginia. And Virginia, good morning. It's a pleasure to meet you. You stepped up to host an Onramp intern in challenging circumstances, to say the least, because you brought them on during the pandemic. Why did you and New Equilibrium make that commitment, and share with us what you got out of it?
Yeah, so New Equilibrium was very new in 2020. We launched in October 2019, and the team was just me and my co-founder all winter, and we hired our very first employee in May, and then through Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, hired 2 interns for the summer. And we didn't really have a choice but to find something that worked during the pandemic, because we needed people doing things. And so I spoke with Lilith about what our needs were, and through our conversation decided that having somebody help build our website would be very useful. And so we hired a graphics design intern, and it was just incredible because there's so much going on at a startup. And then we had somebody who was dedicated to building our website and making a logo. And so everything about the company's outward appearance comes from our project Onramp intern, who we are so grateful for. And then she was just so helpful that we kept her on for the fall, and she's still with us now because she keeps doing wonderful things. And she made our investor deck. So we just raised $10 million through RA Capital, and that's thanks to our investor deck partially. And so we're really, we're just really grateful to have had found her. And I think for me, it was very important to have a project Onramp intern, because when I started my PhD, and then all throughout PhD, I would talk to people within my program and other people who I met. And so many people's parents also had PhDs, and my mom has a PhD. And I realized that people who know about PhDs are going out and getting PhDs, but people who don't aren't for some reason. And so I wanted to be a part of something that would bring students in who wouldn't know about it otherwise. And hearing what Lilo said is exactly like what I was thinking, but she said it much more nicely. But that was what we wanted to do, to provide a way for students to know that, yes, these are PhDs, this is what it is, this is what it means to go to graduate school, and be able to enter the life science industry without already having a parent from that background.
No, thanks for sharing that. And that's a terrific point you made, Virginia, about this notion about you gotta see it to achieve it, right? If you've never met an architect, then you can't be an architect, right? You never met, if you never met an astronaut, then you don't think you can be an astronaut. So you're spot on. And thank you for, providing those opportunities for young men and young women to come into this field and recognize that they too can be part of life sciences. So it's because of leaders like you that Massachusetts leads. So thank you. So the next question goes back to Tsungai. Based on your internship experiences, you've now begun a career in life sciences with Pfizer's Breakthrough Fellowship. And again, congratulations to you, and equally as important, congratulations to Pfizer for such a terrific program. So what interests you about the industry, and what are your hopes for the future?
So I think that I've always loved science. I actually started doing science when I was back in middle school. I actually participated in the science fair, the Massachusetts Science Fair. And I feel like I fell in love with science because of how extremely broad and diverse the amount of things that you can do are. And science is always ever changing, and there's always something new to learn. And you can never learn all there is to science. And I feel like that is one of the biggest things that I love about the industry, is that I always have something new to learn and something to challenge me and look forward to. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to stay in the industry and why I've chosen to go into science. I want to participate and have the ability to work on these life-changing therapies and medicines, especially for a lot of low-income communities, and be able to partner with, multiple organizations across Massachusetts, especially in Boston. There's so many opportunities, and the ability to, be able to have the power to bring change to the communities that I live in currently. And I really look forward to exploring new avenues and, bringing innovative ideas to science. I'm always looking for the next thing to do. I don't like to stay in one spot at a time. So I felt like, life science was the best thing for me because I have the opportunity to do that.
Terrific. Thank you for that. So as Sarah mentioned, previous to joining the center a few months ago, I had the pleasure and the privilege to serve as the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion and compliance for the Port Authority for 7 years. So I got up every day thinking about diversity and driving equity, right? I mean, that was my role. And so I've spent a lot of time thinking about how we can integrate the disadvantage into our economy. And so to that end, Virginia, when we think about diversifying the life sciences pipeline, for me, it's not just the right thing to do, it's a smart business thing to do. And that's the case I used to make when I was out talking about diversity with companies in my old role. But research, quite frankly, is very clear that teams from diverse backgrounds are more creative and more effective than teams that aren't. How does Project Onramp fit into New Equilibrium's diversity strategy?
It definitely helps with our diversity strategy because it's directly linking to first generation college students in our case, and just it's really bringing us people and who wouldn't necessarily have seen our job ads otherwise, and I find it very useful. I found that having a diverse group discussing it definitely brings in different perspectives, and that's just really useful. And just the way people have more culture to speak up. If somebody like we have our graphics design intern who knows nothing really about computational chemistry except what she's learned through working with us, but because when she comes to discussions, she'll ask questions that maybe somebody else would have been afraid to ask, and it turns out it's a really important question that we should have been thinking about. And so, and she just brings in a design perspective, which is really useful. So it's just having interdisciplinary people is so important in our team, and having, I guess, all kinds of diversity is just really critical for thought. And I think a lot of the really good ideas come from taking something from one field and applying it to another. And so having more people with more experiences contributing to discussions is just really good.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. As a, I served for almost 3 decades in the Navy as a military officer, submariner, and I can tell you that we call it force multiplying, right? That's exactly what you're talking about. How the team is more potent, more powerful than the individual. So that is spot on. And so the final question I'm going to put actually to both of you, and that is, what would you say to a student or a company considering participating in Onramp in 2022, and what do they need to know? And so I'm going to start with you, Tsungai. What are your thoughts on that?
For a future student or even a current student, I feel like that what I would tell them is to take the opportunity that is at hand for them. Project Onramp really provides you with that ability to have the connections to create a very powerful network. And I have learned a lot from having a network and getting to build a professional network and seeing firsthand the support that you can receive from having a network like that. Like, for example, even during with COVID, when I was not able to do my internship, it was a network that I had that allowed me to end up doing a different remote summer job that was actually more efficient, especially with a lot of the things that was happening in my personal life. So having that professional network is really important, and you have nothing to lose by just taking an opportunity to see if life sciences is a career that you are looking to explore in your future. So I that is one of the biggest things I say, you know, take it by the reins and do, you know, pick what best supports you. And, you know, you can make a lot of decisions by joining Project Onramp, and looking forward to a great future.
Terrific. And Virginia, I'd put the same question to you.
I would say definitely companies should take the interns. It's a wonderful program. And one thing I really liked about the application process or the hiring process was how curated the group of students that we were given to consider an interview was. We loved all of them. They were all perfect for the role. And it was very different than other hiring processes where we're kind of on our own. And the group that came in was so much more diverse. And that was something we just really were very glad to have an opportunity to get these people from different experiences and backgrounds on the team. And so it's just been really, really wonderful, and just having like such really curated candidates for our roles who were so excited really helped us. And then throughout it, like having our first person join through Project Onramp, she's just been very encouraging about our culture throughout, and making sure that we keep thinking about diversity and keep thinking about bringing on new like people from different backgrounds. And I just think that that's really great. Like, so the more we get into being having like first generation college students, the more we're going to keep making that part of our values. And I think it's an important value for us to have.
Thank you for that. And I thank both of you for what a terrific conversation this morning. I tell you, personally, I'm inspired. This is the stuff that makes my job fun, is when you get out and meet the real people that make Massachusetts great and make our life science ecosystem great. And we, can't help but continue to be leaders in this space with folks like you as part of the Massachusetts Life Sciences team. So thank you, Tsungai. Thank you, Virginia. You guys were great. I'm going to turn it over to Sarah for the rest of the program. Sarah.
Thank you, Ken, and thanks to Virginia and Tsungai for joining us this morning.